All right. Good afternoon, Sergio. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I know you've been working out of the Ronstadt Fort Lauderdale branch most recently, and you've recently relocated to the Orlando area. So tell me a little bit about your background and your experience working in talent acquisition coordinator role.
That's right. For the last 13 years, I have been working in specific roles where I have been related to recruiting, sourcing, mostly like talent acquisition coordinator, which is based on the previous role that I was working with Six Rent a Car. And right now, I mean, the main reason why I'm here in Orlando Airport is because I got promoted to admin coordinator for the branch of Orlando,
Great.
and that's why I'm here right here. But I was looking forward to continuously go back to Randstad USA and look for a better opportunity or a higher compensation rate. Um, but mostly what I'm looking for is to have a career, not a simple job.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your HR experience. So, you've done some really great work. You've done stuff with waste management. Obviously, you're working for, Six USA right now in talent acquisition. Tell me about your HR background. Just kind of give me a brief overview.
Well, I have been working for several companies. For example, I've been working as the assistant director for biosecurity, and then after that, I have been working more like an admin assistant and coordinator. My background, I only have a few college education based on criminal justice and psychology. But based on the information that I have been related to, it's mostly related to human resources, coordination, and generalist information.
All right. So, tell me a little bit what a typical day looked like in your last HR coordinator role.
In my previous HR coordinator job, I was assisting with onboarding, getting the documents, verifying everything to e-verify, making sure that the candidates were able to process everything within the 3 days that they were hired, assisting the training department to colorate the specific roster so they can send the candidate for the specific training. I also was helping with scheduling the first day essential email and the orientation email as well. Those orientation email used to have the all information for the benefits and the payroll.
All right, fantastic. So you're very comfortable then with I-9s, onboarding paperwork, collecting of secure documents for IDs, birth certificates, things like that, correct?
That's correct.
Fantastic. Give me an idea, and just on average, because I know you've worked in a few different companies, but how many open requisitions are you accustomed to managing at any given time for the hiring process? Just an average per se.
For example, in the previous job, we used to have something called summer ramp up, and that goes around 845 open jobs for that
Wow.
specific 6 months.
Wow. Okay. So you were doing like the project seasonal work, so where you had to ramp up pretty quickly then. So how are you typically doing your hiring? Are you doing it virtually, in person? What does that typically look like?
And the previous role where I was mostly assistant as a recruiter, I was assigning specific candidates based on
Yep.
the distance by video call, and some of them were face to face on the same branch office where
Great.
we were assigning to.
Great. I love that. I love that you've got a mix of the video and virtual interviewing as well as the face-to-face for the onboarding purposes. Tell me what one of your favorite things about working in HR is.
I like to help people find the right job for them, but I also like to be part of the process and be there to make sure that the process is smooth and simple for them.
What would you say is one of your biggest things that helps keep you organized during a hiring process?
Well, I try to organize on specific, like steps for me. Make sure that I'm following every step and there is nothing miss up. Make sure that the customer, on this case, the employee, has the right hiring cycle, and there is nothing else, that might make a mistake for the system later on.
Okay, fantastic. Sergio, so working in HR, you have access to a lot of confidential information. When you're thinking about working in that type of environment with confidentiality, what would you say is the most important thing to you about working and having access to that type of data?
Well, you need to be very mature, understand that you're dealing with a lot of private information and information that is very delicate in this case. I also get to have some information related to HIPAA, and it's about maturity and understand the level of of how serious is the job that you're doing here.
Absolutely. What would you say is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
But the next thing that I'm looking for over the company is to make sure that I have a stable career and there's a lot of steps to go higher. Mostly what I believe is talent requisition. Yeah, talent requisition is like make sure that if the candidate or the current employee might be weak on some spots, make sure that he either teach himself or get some educational programs that he can study to be better on the same job.
Great. Sergio, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and chat with you a little bit more if that sounds good.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great.